and watch the action live from our capacious terraces. We're never full here, in God's fresh air. And instead of that, in the ground, well, we've got, we happy few, band of journalists, groundsmen, random officials. Well, that's true, yeah, sort of drown their sorrows. Oh, good question. Interestingly, these two clubs, Dulwich, Hamlet and the Borough, have played each other now 3 seasons in succession in the FA Cup, and it's one apiece. Borough won 4-3 2 seasons ago, Dulwich won up at their place 3-0 last year. Dulwich haven't had a great start to the season. They've changed from last week's losing team, only 4 starting this afternoon, so the manager's had a bit of a rant. Borough are doing rather nicely. They're not world beaters, but they're working very hard. I think it will go Eastbourne Borough's way by 3-2. David, if you're still there, I'm not doing in-play updates. Working. Tell me when we're going live.
The website, is it? Is it the one via the website?
No, we'll just have a look.
No, we're just checking out.
For some reason it's coming through the bit about Chelmsford. I know what, I'll change that.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, I thought he'd given you one. Yeah, probably didn't know you were there. There you go, Will. Yes, okay. I'll just slide it down there. Yep, indeed. I won't say it's a lovely day, but I can certainly say it's a dry one, and the wind is not as high as we thought it would be. So, are we live now? So, if you've tuned in nice and early and you've got comfy with a cup of tea on the sofa, you're listening to me, Kevin Anderson, from Priory Lane, Eastbourne, where we're going to bring you, technology permitting, the whole of the match between Eastbourne Borough, the hosts, and Dulwich Hamlet, the visitors, in the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup. I shall be picking up the full story for you from immediately before kick-off. We've got about 10 minutes to go yet, and they're still in front of me, just a few substitutes kicking a couple of footballs around, but the teams will be out just before 3, and that's when you'll hear my dulcet tones. But thank you very much for tuning in and finding us, and let's hope for a really enjoyable afternoon of FA Cup football.
Trivial knowledge for the sides of Dulwich of the 11 who started last Saturday, only 4 have survived. There's certain changes. They have not a good one, they're not good actually, and they lost to Chippenham last week at home. They lost to Chippenham, in the previous 2 FA Cup games they've gone to on penalties against Hansels. Oh yeah, they were televised in the first round proper, and there's not another real game, so they lost about 4-1. Yeah, they struck lucky. No, they changed a lot of players in the summer, and they were survivors. Yeah, it's really hard to do, really. To be honest, Eastbourne Borough haven't got that many players to change.
He never answered any questions.
Most of them are younger players. Danny Lynch is fit. He scored against Borough for at least 3 other clubs. He missed the last couple of matches. No, he came over from Argentina to play for us almost. He is cousin of Sergio Carlos, who's now coach. He's assistant
So in predominantly white, but with enough of their distinctive pink and blue to let you know that it's Dulwich Hamlet. I don't think there's another club in the country that plays in navy blue and pink. Correct me if I'm wrong. The visitors are out, and here, to the sound of Sussex by the Sea, come the Borough. we have to say that we're really, really sorry that you're not with us. It should be live sporting theatre this, but it's been turned into the theatre of the absurd by the spectator lockout. Stands and terraces that should be rippling with red and black or navy and pink, instead, well, they're echoing like an empty warehouse. But stay with us, shout your heads off at the screen, and we'll bring you the live action here from Priory Lane in the FA Cup fourth qual.
Hello everyone, welcome to Priory Lane for this Emirates FA Cup fourth qual round match by Hamlet.
I will run through the teams for you in a minute. I won't compete with Trevor on the tannoy for the moment, but I'll run through them as soon as he's done.
For James Berry by Mitchell Dickinson, Stephen James, 7 Fox James Hamlet, 9 Greg Lewis, and skipper John Walker, 11 Chris Welldale. Subs number 21, goalkeeper Luke Glover, 12 Charlie Kendall, 14 Joel Robinson.
Charlie Walker and Michael Timmin going for the toss. And plenty of instructions from Jack Packman, who's also a pretty regular visitor here with a whistle. It looks as though the Borough will be playing with a pretty strong wind behind them in the first half. So that Borough team: Rabbit Soley, Vaughan, Innocence, Ferry, Dickinson, James, Cox, Hammond, Greg Lewis, Charlie Walker, Chris Weltdale. So Greg Lewis back in the side after that hamstring tweak, and it's a full strength side for Eastbourne Borough who kick off. We'll run through the Hamlet team in a moment for you. Cox with a little header, doesn't get the return. And instead it's Hamlet who come away on that far right hand side, and the cross is coming in. It's low, it's going to be recycled here. Second chance. No, they played it short across. Interception. Well, Lura will chase that one down, but he's comfortably beaten to it by Kwachika David. Long ball from David. Falls in that tempting area just behind the centre backs, but it's hooked away by Mitch Dickinson to safety on the far side for a throw in. Dulwich, long ball from the back, holds up a little bit in the wind. Sammet has it, tries to play it in field, blocked. Carrots throw in, Jordan Higgs is going to give it to Sanchez Ming to take it. Sanchez Ming, one of only 4 players who survived from the starting lineup last week for Hamlet against Chippenham, a match that they lost. And the throw-in goes to the Reds. So that Dulwich Hamlet team: James Pardington in goal, Sanchez Ming, and I'll try and give you the shape. Jesse Deborah back here after a loan spell from Millwall last year. At centre back alongside Kwachika David, and left back is Malondo Martin. And we'll pick up the live action again. It's going to be fly kicked away by Partington into the circle. Out it goes, red throw. James Vaughan, something of the throw-in specialist, but that's a standard one. Into Weltdale. Weltdale looking to get on the end of the flick. Out for another throw. Vaughan again from the same place. Bit of movement in front of him, looking for Weltdale. needs a hook. It's on it, and it's put out to safety first for the first corner of the game. Just 3 minutes played. If you do find the camera picking up the big red clock in the far corner, you can't see it at the moment. If you do, I'm very sorry that it's not operating as it should. We're working on that. We are likely actually to replace it with a shiny new one, but at the moment you're going to need to watch the clock on your mantelpiece. Here comes the corner, in-swinger from Kai. Oh, an important hook away, and a free kick given against Stephen James. So first free kick of the afternoon. You're listening to me, Kevin Anderson, on the Eastbourne Borough official channel on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, by the way. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching now on YouTube, and you'll catch up with everything that you need to know about the club. Flicked forward by Hammond. And Ferry chasing that down for all he's worth. Jordan Higgs fights him off and does very well, and now he plays it long. Solomon against Claydon, it's gone for the throw. No score in these opening 4 minutes or so. Thrown up the line. Borough thought that one was out. Lino wasn't interested, now it is, and it's a throw in to Hamlet. Still this slightly unreal atmosphere, I'm afraid. This ground should be absolutely packed. Well, if not packed, then certainly full enough, with visitors and home fans alike enjoying an afternoon of live football. This is the nearest we can come at the moment under the current rules. Here's the cross. Important hook away by Greg Lure, doing defensive work, which he's being asked to do quite a bit this season, and he's doing it very well. Doesn't get all the credit he deserves sometimes, Greg. He's not just a striker that goes in and scores wonderful goals. He pulls his weight for the team. Free kick, Hammond. Is it long for that man, Lure, who's given offside? And there's me singing his praises. I hope his mum's not watching. And Greg just forward it goes. Walker, good control, tries a flick up the line, has to come back with it, and Borough have to just start again. Oh, and Kai's blocked off there. Pretty rudimentary stuff there. Might well have been words exchanged from Jack Packman to Charlie Claydon. Charlie Claydon in on loan, I should say, from Charlton Athletic. If you're a Hamlet fan listening in to me, he's just signed in time for this game. There's the long ball to be chased. Put out for the corner by James, under pressure from Dean Moore. Just coming to the 7-minute mark. One corner apiece, but no goals. Michael Timlin, the skipper, is going to take this. Chance for a short one, it's played short. Timlin gets it back, now pops it to the back post, too long. Nicely worked, but just the final ball wasn't right. I never finished off that team for you, did I? We've got Timlin in midfield, alongside Jordan Higgs. Plenty up the front, in the shape of Claydon, who's coming off the front players, in fact. Then Dean Moore, Rees, Alassani, Ruben Sammet, who's also floating between the midfield and the attack. And one of the 4 survivors from the Chippenham game. A bit better though this time from the Hamlet, putting the passes together. Oh, but that one isn't. Vaughan. Short for Lure. Lure looks up into the feet of Walker. 3 players round him. Beautifully played though to Lure. Lure intelligently didn't pass it there. Whelpdale had gone offside there, and Lewis saw it and had to just come back and had the ball nicked off him. Back it goes to keeper Partington. All the way from the back. Hangs in the wind just that little bit again. Mitch goes across and gets the throw. If you're a fan of either club, you'll be aware that this is the third season in a row that the two sides have met in the FA Cup. We had a thriller here 2 years ago where Borough were 4 goals up, and Hamlet got it back to 4-3, and the Sports were just hanging on and did so to win 4-3. Last year it was Dulwich Hamlet's turn at Champion Hill, and they had a comfortable 3-0 victory. So it's one apiece and all to play for this afternoon. Don't forget, we have to have a result this afternoon, 90 minutes and then penalties if required. A couple of successive throws, and now Hamlet go back and across. Deborah, the big figure at the back, had a good little spell with the Borough. Hammond at his feet, not too many options, finds Cox, and Cox plays it too long there for Walker. This goes all the way through to the keeper. David goes back. Keeper wasn't 100% sure there. It's back with David, and he's swung it out of play. Well, manager's approval for Greg Lure. You probably hear one thing about having no fans in is that you hear nearly everything from the dugouts and the technical area. And Danny Blore is never slow to give his opinions, including his praise, of course. Whelpdale back to Mitch Dickinson, out to Kai Innocent, gets a throw. Well, we were promised a fair bit of wind this afternoon, and we're actually promised that it might get stronger as the afternoon progresses. That would work probably to the Borough's disadvantage. At the moment it's a stiffish breeze, but no more than that at their backs, and they've got it in the first half. Talking about the Hamlet tinkering with the side an awful lot. Gavin Rose trying to find his best side still with a lot of new signings, and fortunate man, I have to say, to have enough in his squad to be able to make that many changes. Danny has got a very settled, pretty well settled 11 from 12 at the moment when he picks his starting 11. Innocent goes up the line, or tries to. He's very, very closely policed. Checks in, looking for Cox. Cox goes inside to Hammond. Hammond looks up and plays one in towards Walker. Walker retrieves it well, finds Vaughan. Oh, what would have been a dangerous flat ball in. An important interception there from Rolando Martin. Throw into Vaughan. Leads it back again. Oh, Ferry gets caught on the ball here. Whelpdale rescues it. A real retriever of lost causes is Chris Whelpdale. Martin tries to play it up the line, can't get it away. Borough's pressing game working well here. Yeah, the options really for Danny Blore at the start of matches tend to revolve around Cox and or Lure and or John Rollinson, and he's the man who's missed out, although he's going to be a useful impact player very likely with his pace. That one's gone and it's a red ball. Whelpdale tugged back there, a bit naughty. Up he gets, still it's a red ball, so Borough can carry on. Cox looks up, flicks one in, header on. Oh, beautiful save. Super header, super save, classic bit of football. We've had to wait a few minutes for it, but when it came it was lovely stuff. Excellent cross in. Cox picking out Whelpdale with absolute perfection. Whelpdale knew where he wanted to plant the header, just in that top corner, but Partington, he's a big lad with a good stretch, and he reached it and pushed it away for the corner. Great stuff. Here is the corner. It's a low one. Not good enough, cleared. Well, that was so nearly an opening goal. Can Borough press home the advantage? Oh, and that one just too long for Whelpdale from Hammond. But the signs are looking good for the home side. Partington just pats his hand and says, calm down boys, let's just get our breath back. He gives it to Deborah. Deborah whacks it long and high. Down it comes. Innocent just gets it away to safety. Lots of instructions coming from the Borough bench in the shape of Sergio Torres. He wants everyone working to mark up. "14 minutes played, no goals, but just a minute ago we had the nearest that we've come so far with that Whelpdale header superbly saved." Eastbourne probably shading it so far. Dangerous words to say. Free kick, yeah. Jack Packman just held his whistle just that 1.5 seconds to make sure there wasn't an advantage. Fair enough. Although his little ball out to the touchline wasn't quite perfection. He needs to come along to one of the Thursday night coaching sessions that Torres runs. Sorry, Jack. Big and high, hanging in the air. Headed away for the corner. Again, the pressure's on that Hamlet back line. They don't seem to mind knocking it to safety. And this time, it's often been Kai Innocent with his left foot to swing it in, but the little fellow Dean Cox is coming across and he can put him on a sixpence. A whole phalanx of red and black there, waiting to fill that gap, that green gap in between. Plays it low and the shot goes over and should really have hit the target, but who am I to talk from the back of the stand? It was a nicely worked free kick and Walker was on the end of it, but just got it over the bar. So the sport's looking bright, looking organised, pressing quite high, and Hamlet with a fair bit of work to do in just keeping them at bay at the moment. But while it's 0-0, it means nothing. You can have all the pressure you want. If you've nothing to show for it, you might as well have just dibble-dabbled the ball in midfield and done nothing. Kai Innocent on loan from QPR. If you're a neutral or you've not caught up with the Borough this season, he's put in some really impressive displays. He's a modern fullback, likes to go forward, good ball skills, good tackle in there from Ferry, and splayed out wide for James Vaughan, another footballing fullback. Whelpdale closed down, nice little twist and turn and sets Ferry away, finds a red shirt in the shape of Hammond, out it goes wider, and a good little move developing here, edge of the box, out further out, and important clearance there, because there lurking was that figure of Whelpdale as Innocent played a low lethal ball across the 6-yard line, and for I think the 4th time in the match, we've got an Eastbourne Borough corner. That Breeze will swing it in if Hammond wants it to. He swings it. Who's first to it? A Whitehead, and it's gone out for a repeat. 5th corner. New balls please, says Jack. And there is one, because there's one waiting already, nicely sanitised. Here's Hammond again. And that one's gone a bit too long. Claimed for handball, but not given. Ferry can drill it in. No, he pops it to the back post and the keeper picks it up like an apple from the tree. Let me throw a few cliches in at least in the 90 minutes. And gets the throw to Sanchez Ming. Relatively long-standing member of this Dulwich Hamlet side and a well-known figure around semi-pro football here in the south. Here's David. He plays it long. The strikers have hardly had a look in so far for Hamlet. And it's been all long ball to them, interestingly. They've not really played through the midfield, Hamlet. Perhaps they'll do so now. Martin up that channel. Covered up by Vaughan. Wants to do something constructive with it, but there's nothing much to do, so he pops it out. 18 minutes played. 0-0 the score. FA Cup 4th qual. Remember, the winners go into the hat with Div 1 and Div 2. Let's not tempt fate yet, but it's a tempting prospect, as well as the prize money, of course. Popped out again very solidly by Lua that time. 9,300 and something is the prize money this afternoon, and that would be very welcome to either side, obviously, but it's the prospect of more that's tempting. Good little throw into the byline. No, it's too long. 7 substitutes this afternoon, by the way. I didn't run through those for you, I'll do so quickly. The Borough subs: Luke Glover, the keeper; Charlie Kendall, Joel Rollinson, Dan Blackmore, Charlie Lambert, Leon Gravata and Manny Follerin. Several striking options there, interestingly. I'll go through the white subs in a minute, but here's a really interesting break from Claydon. Makes a lot of progress with the ball and gives it outside. Here's the cross. Blocked. Still a Dulwich ball. Oh, and that's not very helpful, and Charlie is away, but he's got 3 defenders in front of him, now 4. Plays it out here to this side for Greg Lua. Fancies a run? Gone inside, in fact. And he's tripped. Well, I think it was a trip. It wasn't a savage one, and Lua is doing a little rollover. I think it's correct. Little crossover with Charlie Walker deceived the defenders, and Lua was bearing in with a chance of a shot. So words are exchanged between the man in black and the man in navy blue, pink and white. Jordan Higgs. And this is that tempting sort of distance when the dead ball specialist can think about a shot. I'll bet you Charlie's thinking about a shot as well, but 4 men to beat, or else an awful lot of Beckham-esque curl needed on it. Is it Hammond? Is it Walker? It's Walker. Oh, and he's got his gun sights wrong there, and it skews wide of the left post. Yes, as I was saying, winners of this tie go into the hat on Monday. And there are some big names in there: Portsmouth, Sunderland, Ipswich Town. Probably get Cray Wanderers away, but still, it's the dream, isn't it? It's the dream that keeps you going. And if these players can't rise to it, then there's something wrong with them. Footballers in the FA Cup. Useful incipient move, but it's blocked and comes back out to the halfway. Minks played it first time this time. Again, out it comes. It's been a red ball 60-40 at least, maybe 70-30 in terms of possession. Martin again looks long. Alassani has picked it up. Needs support, finds support in the shape of Martin, who supplied him in the first place. Interception is from Lua. Throw in. As I say, you can hear nearly everything, and apologies if occasionally you hear some fairly ripe language. Nothing that you wouldn't hear, I suppose, on a Sunday morning, or at a county league match where there's perhaps a smaller crowd. Where you have got a big crowd, it's a bit more camouflaged. But this is football in the raw. As I say, thank you for tuning in here on the Eastbourne Borough official YouTube channel. Please subscribe and make sure that you stay up to date, because we bring you lots. We bring you match highlights and packages. From now on, we're looking to stream as long as we need to, as long as you boys are locked out, boys and girls are locked out there. We'll try and bring you live action, but do stay in touch with us, won't you? Really big long kick from Franco. Tiny bit of wind assistance. James Ferry wanted the ball a bit quicker than that, Diane. Diane Wise, one of our fine, upstanding stewards. She does a wonderful job, so who am I to criticise her? That's the wonderful thing about club commentary, isn't it? I can do all the gossipy bits. Here's Whelpdale, gets through the second player, hits a shot, comes off a white leg, and then it's belted away. James is marshalling him but can't get near the ball, and it falls kindly for Timlin. Too long, and Franco Ravizzoli picks it up. Somebody was asking me whether Ravizzoli is from the Albion. I don't know quite why that would be. They've got a few overseas names and players, but no, Franco is the real thing. He's there. It's a free kick, I would have thought. Packman disagrees. What do I know about refereeing? Yeah, Franco came all the way on a packet boat from Argentina. He's a relation of Sergio Torres. His English has improved immensely in the 10 months or so, and his goalkeeping's come on nicely as well, although we could tell he was a top goalkeeper. It's just a matter of acclimatising him himself, and he really is a dominating figure this season. Ferry to Hammond, all a bit tight, opens it up to Cox. Outside him goes Kai, plays it in instead. Header doesn't go where it was intended. Second header doesn't either. Who's first there? Greg Lewis is. Plays it out. Quick, intelligent ball. Vaughan, curling ball in. Oh my goodness, I thought that might have been off a white boot. But the ref's an awful lot nearer than me, and it's a goal kick. Both Hammond and Whelpdale were in on that one. Alongside, I think it was David who got the block in, or partial block, and it came off the red boot. Still no score, still the Borough press. 25 minutes played. Throw in on the far side. Charlie does a decent thing and plays the ball up the line to Ming. Ming throws it up the line. Well controlled, laid off again. Ming has a second go, plays it infield. Claydon. Long diagonal ball, good ball. Oh, and a good shot and well saved. My goodness, that came out of nothing. It was a cracking ball all the way across, and Mike Timlin was on the end of it. On this angle, I'd say the shot might just have been curling away, but I'm not by no means sure of that, and it was a big, strong hand from Ravizzoli that made absolutely sure. I'm getting a couple of nods from the director's seats. We think that might have been missing the near post, but as it is, it was Dulwich's best chance so far. And suddenly, perhaps put a spring in their step. They have a corner, their second of the game, and it's Timlin, the man who pulls all the strings for them, floats it. Good header, but too high. Decent header. Hamlet not short of big players in there. And well, that's woken everybody up, because it was a super ball across from Claydon. I have to say, if you've watched the highlights of Borough's game last week against Chelmsford City, it was reminiscent of the goal that Chelmsford scored, which was a similar delivery, a similar position, and an absolutely beautiful finish from the Chelmsford striker. Very, very long from Ravizzoli again. Ferry is in strong, goes ahead of... and he hadn't looked, he's gone ahead of Lure, but he didn't read the pass. Instead of that, up to the halfway, nice flick on. And a potential forward run, and Claydon has been doing good things so far in midfield. Good left foot he's got on him. It swung all the way out. Oh, it's a slack ball, and it's just kept in by an inch or two. On the halfway. Hamlet go backwards to go forwards. Two players up for it. And now it does go out of play, and Innocent can take the throw. Deep in his own half. No goals, not too many chances, but keenly contested, and Borough just about shading it. Long ball forward. Walker will gamble a little bit, but it's David who gets there first, plays it to safety. over the north stand. And one of the little bonuses of the ball sanitising that goes on is that there is always a ball sitting somewhere close to where it goes out, on those little yellow cones, if you can spot them on the camera sometime. And I guarantee that they will be 100% COVID free, because they're religiously cleaned when they go out of play and they're returned to the rightful place. It's one of many, many, many little things that have had to be thought of by not just Eastbourne Borough but all clubs in getting everything right: the seating, the signage, the one-way systems, the temperature testing, free kick given while I'm rattling through the FA regulations. We've done everything we can, guys, and that's one of the reasons why we're really quite frustrated that we cannot let you in, and you're sitting there probably a few paces from me in the clubhouse watching. James Hammond, by some way the sort of specialist dead ball kicker this year. In it comes from Hammond, too long. Specialist, did I say? Come on, Hamo. The trouble is there's nowhere to hide when you're a dead ball kicker, is there? I mean, if you get one wrong in open play, you can blame the bounce or the opponent or something, but when you've got everything to line up, you should really not be putting it in the car park. Oh, the wisdom that comes from the back of the stand where the commentator sits. Cox is in. Timmins is heading it back. Bit of head tennis going on, 4 in a row. And a throw in, that wasn't very glorious. Just coming to the half-hour mark then. You're watching the Eastbourne Borough official channel on YouTube, and we're bringing you the whole match, fingers crossed. We managed the whole match last week against Chelmsford City, and I think you guys understand it's been a learning curve for all of us. We've had to scramble a bit, we've had to find out, where's our best position, how can the bigger questions very often are how can we get you reliably online. Interesting, Dulwich Hamlet have taken the same policy that Borough have so far. We've not charged you a penny so far. We're conscious that you're frustrated as we are that you can't be here, and we want you to enjoy the experience. And here's an opening, lots of space for Martin to run in, and a cross that Rabbitsoli needs to deal with. No, it's just too long. Well, that's a bit of green open space there that there hasn't been much of for Dulwich so far. Yeah, we came up a learning curve fairly quickly. We had one pretty disastrous night, let's be honest. It was in the previous FA Cup round against Sheffield United. It was an absolutely foul night. Our camera position was out in the elements, and we didn't get the cabling to correct either. But we've come on since then, and here we are with Walker. Lays it off beautifully for Cox. Shot! Just too high. Nicely set up by the skipper, Charlie Walker. The range finding almost right from Cox, but it stays at 0-0. Yeah, last week we managed the whole game against Chelmsford City. Big word of praise, line of praise for Oscar Peskett, who is doing all the filming this afternoon, so it's down to him that you're watching, and it's his fault if he gets the wrong angle. I didn't say that. Oscar's doing a fantastic job for us, and we really appreciate it. And in fact, ball forward, just pausing quickly to see if they make anything of it. Here's Timlin yet again. The mover and shaker, plays it out wide for Alassani. Got a bit of pace on him when he can get the space to run in. Closely policed, down to the touchline. Good ball across, and headed to safety by Innocent. That was a very decent cross indeed. Yeah, the only thing you missed from the Chelmsford match was actually this man talking down a microphone. I promised talk down a microphone for 90 minutes, but it didn't transmit. I'm sure you can find a way to mute my voice if you're fed up with me already, but please keep watching the pictures. It's a corner kick to Dulwich Hamlet, 0-0 here at Priory Lane on a mildish day for late October. A breeze but not a gale, so we can manage the weather. Can Borough manage to defend this one? Taken short. Should come in from here. He wanted it on his right foot, and that one is blocked. Edge of the area. Nowhere do they get the shot, and instead of that, Lua plays a smashing ball out wide to that far side, the left-hand side, and Borough storm forward. Lua's lurking on the back post if he can find him. Walker checks in, wants the shot. and it's blocked off and popped out. Well, Lua, I said he was lurking. Well, he was ready to pounce then as that rebound was coming back to him. And there is a man down. Again, apologies if the resonant acoustics of those empty stands brings you a little bit of right language. It's what footballers do, I'm sorry. And we've got 2 players down. In fact, we've got... looks as though Ruben Sammet is back up, but James Vaughan is just feeling his thigh muscle, which is already strapped. Just the top of the thigh there. It's giving problems. Our magic man Zav is on. Zav the physio. You can hardly tell who it is because he comes in disguise. He puts that red bobble hat on, pulls it low, and then puts the mask on. So I think it's Zav out there. I can tell you he's absolute terrific servant to this club. He's worked wonders. He's not just a magic man with all the sort of tweaks and pulled muscles or ligament strains. He actually talks through things with players and really makes sure that they're thinking right as well. And he talks through if there's a question of recuperation and how to build yourself back. He's the full package, and I don't know. I expect we can actually rerun this match on a Sunday morning. So if somebody points out to it, ask him to look at around about 34 minutes in, and you'll hear his praises being sung. And that doesn't look too good for James Vaughan. Really easing his way off. And I have to say that the Borough substitutes bench, and it's quite a long list, is thicker with attackers than with defenders. There are a couple of options, but they'll be looking to see if Vaughan can continue, I think, before they rush to substitutions. He says it's feeling tight. Anyway, meanwhile, we're concentrating on the corner from the far side. It's Cox. It's high. It's well taken by the keeper. They're looking for a quick one. It's 2 against 3 if they do. They're going to go through midfield instead. It's intercepted. Well seen by Ferry, who was filling in there at right fullback. And Hammond can play it long and does, but he's played it out. Well, it's a wasteful pass, and I've got to say, I'm in no way looking for trouble with Hamlet, if you're a Hamlet supporter up there in South London, but they've been a little bit careless 3 or 4 times with passes through midfield that really should have found their men, straightforward ones, and a good promising opening was sort of strangled at birth. That one is I thought that might have been a Hamlet throw, but it's given red. Well, Vaughan is still on. I think he's going to need a bit of covering up for a little while. You wouldn't fancy him in a sprint against a quick winger. Oh, bang! That came off. No, it did come off Whelpdale's head. I think Chris Whelpdale, he's a big fella, and he might have just got a tiny bit of leverage on that, shall we say, to get him that high. Either way, Timlin is the man. Sorry, not Timlin. Jordan Higgs is the man who's the back of whose neck suffered a little bit, and it's a goal kick to the visitors. Still 0-0, and half-time starts to lurch into sight, and you'd expect Dulwich to be thinking that's a job well done if they do get to 0-0. What can Borough do about it? Charlie Walker, the skipper, wide on the left-hand side, needs support, gets it in the shape of Cox. Little wriggle inside, finds Whelpdale, tries to just get the flick off to Walker and doesn't find him. Greg Lua chases that one down and panics the keeper a teensy bit. Sanchez whacks it high and not very handsome over the north stand, and a throw in on the halfway to the Reds. Eastbourne Borough's forays into the first round proper have been fairly few. We had a magnificent day 15 years ago, not quite to the day, when the man who's actually sitting to the left of me, Gary Wilson, took his side into a great tie against Oxford United. I'll tell you more in a minute, but there could be action here, and James Vaughan is doing very well, and he's found a nice little ball and another nice little ball from Whelpdale. Unlucky there, or should I say a decent interception by the defender, prevents that little triangle from turning into a chance. A good big high jump from Dean Moore. Can't find a teammate. Yeah, we had a great run, I remember the run as well. It was got better and better as it went. In the fourth qual, the equivalent, if you like, 15 years ago, Gary took the sports up high on the Cotswolds to Bishop's Cleeve, a ground I played at for Gloucester City Reserves, can you believe it? And they had a 1-0 win up there and got themselves into the first round proper and had a great 1-1 draw. Here's a lovely ball across. Just a possibility of a penalty, and it's given. My goodness me. It's given. Well, Lua, the man who was toppled, Martin, the man who just caught his ankle, there was contact there. Hamlet, I'm not at all happy, but the decision's taken. There's no way it's going to be changed because we don't have a VAR to correct it. It was it a 60-40 penalty? You guys can run it and rerun it. I only saw it once. I thought it was only just a penalty, shall we say. As it is, Jack Packman's the man. Lua was the man brought down. No yellow card given. So we are 39 minutes played. Here is the chance to go ahead from the spot. Into the corner, James Hammond does the business. Keeper goes the wrong way. A low and accurate shot beats Partington and gives Eastbourne Borough the lead that on the balance of play they probably deserved. But they got the bonus of the penalty to see them ahead. It's Eastbourne Borough 1, Dulwich Hamlet 0. And that's actually a nice little segue, because I was just going to tell you how Ollie Rowland, in that famous day in front of the Match of the Day cameras 15 years ago, scored at that end from the penalty spot to give Borough a 1-1 draw. James Hammond has gone better, if you like, because he's put the sports ahead, but there's a long way to go in this tie, and I suspect there is more from Hamlet than we've seen yet. Let's see if they prove it now. Useful move developing up the left-hand side. Hooked briefly clear. Kept in play and recycled by Timlin. Goes back to the big men at the back, David and then Deborah. And Deborah, his standard trademark ball, hits it long, and that one wasn't even trademark because it's floated out of play. But the back players haven't been slow to hit that long ball forward, that raking ball into the wind. If they do that in the second half, I wonder if they played at Priory Lane before, because if you do that with the wind behind you at the lane, the ball ends up either in the keeper's hands or in the car park behind me to the right. We will see, we will see. Out of play it goes. Will Borough sit tight for the remaining 4 minutes and say 1-0 will do us nicely for half-time, or will they look to double it with a little burst of energy in these final few minutes? There won't be much stoppage time, might be either 1 or 2 minutes, I should think, but at the moment we're just on the 41 point something. Good play, good return ball, and it's onside. Out it goes wide. Chance for a decent cross. It is a decent cross. A half a punch, only just a touch on it, I think, from Franco. And even the clearance doesn't get it far. Can Hamlet create something at the second attempt? Out wide it is there. Claydon, flat ball this time. Little triangle, intercepted and thwarted for merely a throw on the far side. Well, spring in their step from Dulwich, and perhaps that's a bit of indignation firing that because they didn't think it was a penalty. Here's the throw. Knocked out again. Surely the cross will come. No, it's played again between them. Now it comes looping towards the D. And a pullback. You've got to be a little more subtle than that, Orlando Martin. And the Borough have a chance to just get their shape and start thinking about the half-time cuppa. Or perhaps it's an energy drink. I've got my energy drink here, and I could do with a little sip as half-time approaches. We will try and update you on Facebook as well during half-time, if anybody is watching through that medium, although I have to say I've got to get onto BBC Radio Sussex as well for a quick update for listeners on BBC Radio Sussex. They are covering a number of ties this afternoon, although we are the only one on the Sussex frequencies. The others are all on Surrey. I had to get that little plug in. Partington from the back. Flicked on by Whelpdale. Charlie Walker isn't quite 6'2", so he doesn't quite reach that one. Some more head tennis in the middle of the field. Cox isn't anywhere near 6'2", and referee stops it for presumably a head injury. It escaped me, so I can't tell you for certain. We're on just coming towards 44 minutes, and we'll be told in a moment. I think we have a fourth official today. We do indeed. He is Jamie Wells. He's got a little notebook in his hand, so he's going to write down whatever figure he's told. And they, I think, officially not allowed to actually put that board up until the actual 45 arrives. That's fair enough, actually, because, for instance, here we could easily have an extension to the extra time. I hope you'll be looking out also for Danny Blaw's post-match reaction. We bring that to you as soon as we can. We're looking at probably about 7:15 p.m. on the YouTube channel. We'll have an interview with the gaffer and an announcement also of the man of the match. And tomorrow, of course, you need to be looking out for a highlights package if you don't want to watch the full 90 minutes again, but why wouldn't you? But that highlights package should be arriving on YouTube at around about noon. But here is there some last action to happen in the first half. Played away by James. Taken quickly. Borough need to do a bit of stopping up and spoiling. Whelpdale is the furthest man forward. Closes it down. But comes through midfield, intercepted by Lure. Plays it quickly across looking for Cox, but only finds Ming. 2 additional minutes. And we're just into that 2 minutes now. Claydon, probably the most lively player in a white shirt this afternoon so far. Has to go backwards with it this time though, and they come across from right to left and then up the line. A decent ball up the line, played to safety by Vaughan. A bit cheekily asked for the throw in as well. Doesn't get it. Well, this would be really bad news for Borough if they did let a goal in at this late stage. They need to be hammering it away, playing it safe, surely. Because this, although only a 1-0 lead, it's certainly a very valuable one. And as I think I said earlier, it's probably justified on the run of play. Apologies again if you are trying to get glimpses of the big red clock. It isn't functioning properly. It's partly it's an hour behind, partly there are some parts that we can't get hold of replacements of. They come from France, I'm told, and we're looking to replace the whole clock. And here's Walker, plays Whelpdale in. He is onside. He wants to get a cross in and does so. A super cross, just too long for Cox. Needs to regain it and recycle it. Needs support. He's got it from Innocent. Gets it back again, and it comes from Cox. Header, but not convincingly away. 20 yards from goal. Hammond comes in on it. And all the Whites left it too long there. You don't leave it that long with Whelpdale on your heels. He is a real snapper up of ill-considered chances, as Shakespeare once called it. Could that have been a handball? All the people in the stand thought so, but the man in black knows better. Well, a last little flourish from Borough. We're coming up towards the 2 minutes. Will he play any extra? No, he won't. Our referee, Jack Packman, has seen enough for one half. Decent half for the Borough. They were on top for most of it. They had a couple of really good chances. The best of them, that Whelpdale header, beautifully saved by keeper James Partington. But they did get the penalty to win them a 1-0. Charlie Walker having a little natter with referee. I'm not quite sure what it's about, but he's putting his point of view, diplomatically I'm sure. Meanwhile, everybody else troops off for their half-time cuppa. I'll go and do a couple of updates for the different channels. You can put the kettle on, or you can pop back to the bar if you're watching there in the Langley Sports Social Club, and get something in for the second half, and we'll be back then. Let's have a go now, because then it's done. Because they always come to me last anyway. Yeah, I should be looking at it now.
So you can see it. Welcome back to Borough Lane, where it's Eastbourne Borough 1, Dulwich
Thank you very much indeed, Graham. Yeah, welcome on the Facebook channel. It's 1-0 advantage, as it were. It was a game in the first set of his tennis, but of course it is a could be a three set. It will be a foul. Just looking at the second half step of that, and of course the third set of penalties, but they were all square. Borough very definitely the stronger side and the dominant side in this first half. Put together some really useful moves, kept Dulwich really under that really smartly. But they had to wait until the half-hour mark for a really good service support, and that was a beautifully worked effort to his welfare. Perfect header, exactly what he was doing. He was moving the header towards the top left corner. So we had a very big opposing goalkeeper. A jolly good stretch, steps all the way up to jolly the way for the corner. And that was as close as we came until 38 minutes when Borough were awarded a penalty. It was a clash of ankles when the Dulwich Hamlet were playing that, so it was not one foul. Through it, you'd have given a foul, could have been the other side, which I think they needed to do. James Brown stepped up, in between that, we just had one great chance for the visitors, and that was a smashing ball in, and I'm going to grab my notes at this point. It was a super ball in from Charlie Clayton, and it was met by the skipper Michael Timlin, sort of a bit like last week's Chelmsford goal, and a fine save by Franco Ravissoni. We just wondered if he might have just come out of the vehicles, but let's assume he would have come in and did all the So, plenty still to come, Graham. You can bet your life that Dulwich will really go for this. It's such an important game, isn't it, in the FA Cup. so that extra fire. So I don't think that we've seen the last of the goal scoring. If we really pressed me, I'd say there's a goal at least in both of these teams. But we will see, we will see.
But overall performance by the Borough side.
Oh, I'd say so. Yeah, good team performance. No weaknesses really. They played football. They tried to put the passes together. They've been a threat, and they've been violated Dulwich an awful lot. Dulwich have been with disappointing. So that's why I think
Well, I hope they're going to go the Borough's way, rather than the opposite way, but we'll see what happens. Thanks ever so much. I know you're busy, you're commentating on YouTube, you've got the business set up, you can chat with, and this as well. So thank you very much, Kevin, and watch out tonight for the post-match interview in the game floor, and tomorrow for the fight.
absolutely so. Thanks for that.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Hi, it's Kevin from Eastbourne. Sorry I'm a bit late, I had to do another update. Yeah, I'm here, standing by. Hello, Kevin, standing by. Oh, so sorry. Oh, something happened. Yes, I can. Yeah, Thanks. Is everything all right?
The comment on the feed is that this isn't going out.
This isn't what?
This isn't.
Well, I don't know why it's not transmitting then. Does he mean it's not transmitting?
No, it's...
Oh, it is. Oh, that's right. Oh. What was that comment then? Oh, all right. Good. I just talk.
Can you see that? I'll put it back there in the second
Yeah,
half.
yeah.
Is that all right?
Yes, good. Yes, 1-0 indeed it is, and it's a very much deserved on the balance of play. Eastbourne Borough very much on top, almost from the very first whistle. Dulwich Hamlet forced backwards and some fairly desperate defending, but not too many clear sights of goal for the Borough until the half-hour mark, when they had a beautifully worked move which set in Chris Weltdale, their top scorer, with a header that was exactly judged right in towards the top left-hand corner, and the goalkeeper was equal to it with a fabulous save. We get our great moments in that league, and that was one. However, within another 7 minutes, Borough had got a penalty. It's slightly marginal one, a sort of 70-30 rather than a 99% certain. But it was Greg Muir who was fouled, and then I was telling you about who came on in the last round, scored 2 goals, and then went off for an early shower because he'd done his work. And that penalty was put in by James Hammonds to make it 1-0. Eastbourne have had the stiff-ish breeze. I was talking about the breeze earlier. They've had it out of the backs, and I think Dulwich Hamlet, now with the wind behind them, will raise their game somewhat. For goodness sake, this is the FA Cup and it ends at Wembley. We'll see what happens in the second half, Joe.
it's good to get something decent.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting because they're going to go for it first.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Well, you can probably hear me gossiping with Graham in the background. Graham Austin, our amazing, unbelievable videographer. You only see the end result, which is jolly good, but if you knew all the work that goes in, Graham is an absolute master. There's the song of praise, and both teams are out. Borough just having a little sprinty warm up to make sure they're back in action. Now the sages around me are saying this is going to be a tough half. You can well believe that Dulwich Hamlet were very happy to be into that wind and now are extremely happy to have the wind behind them. It is actually getting up that little bit more. It's an insult these days when you call a team a Route 1 side, and Hamlet are far from a Route 1 side, but they're willing to go Route 1, go pretty direct, hit the ball long and really pin back Borough. So there's a real challenge on here for Hamlet to get back into it, and for Borough not to do something stupid at the back, and to make sure they work hard when they've got the ball, they don't give it away, they can work through the midfield and have their share. But we could, if it stays 1-0, I mean 1-0 is a nervy scoreline anyway, if it stays 1-0 until 88 minutes or so, then we're all going to be biting our nails, me included. Thank you for tuning in to us. You're watching us almost certainly on the Eastbourne Borough official YouTube channel, and I'm just going to break off. I thought we had some action there, but there wasn't a red player near enough. And there's the long ball. And there we are. If you, as I was saying in the first half, if you've been to the lane a few times, and if you've played here for that matter, you will know that the wins that we get tend to be end to end. Most often they're roughly from the Mick Green stand end to my left. Occasionally, actually, they come off the marshes, and they come from Russia in that case, I think, somewhere. But oh, a lovely ball there from Ferry out wide to Lure. He's come back inside and choked it up a little bit, and they're going to have to start again. There's Ferry again, up the line, intercepted. But there's Lure, chips one, only finds a white player. And there's the long ball again. Well, you can do that all afternoon, Dulwich, unless you score one of those fluke goals. Borough can cope with it. The wind really takes the ball away, and as well as that, the 3G surface, even if you get a bounce, you know, the ball will skim on, and it won't really lose pace that it might, whereas it might do on the grass. Here's Franco from the back. Oh, and a late challenge there, under the eye of the referee. A little bit of a naughty one too. It wouldn't be Charlie Walker if he wasn't in the wars now and again. What a great battler he is for this club, and now club skipper, of course. There's the ball hanging in the air. Walker is the man behind it. Tightly marked. Anywhere to go. He's going to try and wriggle through. Oh, and he's won a free kick. Well, we'll have that one. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I've looked at my watch already, and we've only had 2.5 minutes. What happens when we do get to 88? Oh, it'll be 3-0 to the home side by then. Cut that little bit out from the editing, please. So, here's James Vaughan. He's got a cultured right foot on him, shall we say, and he can pop this ball in to the danger area. But there's a mass of players. What are there? About 18 and 19 players in there. And they're jostling for position, as always. Fraction better than a corner. There it is. Curled away. Kicked away. Hammond plays it square. Cox is going to have to play it further out wide. There's Vaughan again, and they've got to go back. And now it's launched in, is it, by Ferry? Yep. It's a white boot first. Come on, boys, get there. And once again, the Whites can maybe get a fast front ball. Ming does well. Oh, and a foul by Innocent was a teensy bit naughty there. Innocent by name, guilty by the foul. Wasn't vicious, but the Dulwich attacker knew what he was doing in going through, looking to get clear. So a little word from Jack Packman there to Kai Innocent, saying be careful, you do that again, it's a yellow card. Sanchez with the kick. Short one. He's gone backwards. Well. And now it goes forward. Oh, a lovely ball there. And Innocent makes up for his error with a beautiful little interception. But the ball has gone to Dulwich again. Back to the keeper. Chased down by Whelpdale. Oh, and the keeper had to be quick there. There's the long launch. Stays in play. Heads go up. James was there under it and clears it. Excellent by Cox. It's the quick thinking that does it with Coxey, isn't it? That's going to be a dangerous ball when it does come down. Walker lays it out. Lure slings it in. No, he's changed his mind. Oh dear, just took his eye off it actually. He had more than one option and let the ball slip. Whelpdale wins it. Price Cox to Innocent. Overran that one and he's fouled. Well, no more, says Jack Packman. One over there, one here. Yeah, the more that the Reds can keep the ball, the better this half. Not the running down of the clock exactly, but just denying Dulwich that chance to put pressure on. It's easy to say. Here's Hammond. Huge ball. So it's curling away, isn't it? Yeah, it's gone too long. Throw taken. Dulwich working hard, trying to get out their own third. Oh, good work by Whelpdale, but loses it to the third player, if not the fourth. Cox is in quickly. Whelpdale, just leaves the ball behind. Cox, he wins it again. Oh, some real scrambling in there for it, like hookers in a rugby match. And out it goes. Well, they're up for this, and they blooming well should be up for it. There's lots at stake. There's prestige, there's prize money, there's just the knowledge that you can progress and you can make a name. Get the cameras here. I don't mean our camera, I mean those big official proper cameras with lots of great big vans parked out on the car park. That's what we need. Next round, Portsmouth at home. And a sudden change of heart, ladies and gentlemen, that number 10 has decided as a special concession Eastbourne Borough will be allowed fans in. Dream on. Let's get on with the game. Come on. Flicked up the line twice. Picked up and then knocked back. Worked up through Jesse Deborah. And then through midfield. A little bit of more of playing through here. Samet. Now it goes long. James is under it. out of play. Still 1-0 to the Borough. 8 minutes played of the second half. Good flat ball. Still in front of the defence though. Still a good turn by Alassani. And now he can cross. It's gone beyond the back post. Oh, was that taken actually away? There was a shot on there. And now there is a shot on. And the header, Steve James, who's been immaculate so far with everything that's thrown at him, gets it away. But that was decent pressure, squeezed on. That looked like a foul throw to me. Play on, says the ref. High ball. Franco's there. No problem. Oh, no, and I didn't say apple from the tree. Yeah, you could possibly tell that that one just hung in that wind. That's how strong it is. And sometimes from within the stands we don't realise it. When you get down in the middle, it's 20% stronger. Ferry, good ball up the line. Well, Dale, he's a nightmare to play against, isn't he? He's big, he's strong, he's got quick feet. And he's played a lovely ball in there to lure, checks it back. Here's Whelpdale. Is there room for the shot? Gets a turn, goes past his man. Oh, and he's won a corner. Never gives up, does Chris Whelpdale. And I've got a question for you all out there. Why on earth did Chelmsford City play him at right back? So, my goodness, wouldn't it be important if the Sports did get a second goal in this phase and really put some clear water between the sides. Here's the corner. It's big and steepling. Keeper hasn't got it, and it came off a red man last. Is keeper okay? He stayed down. We do, it's a good point for me to remind you that we have 7 subs available in the FA Cup, and that means that clubs will never hesitate to put a second keeper on the bench if need be. Charlie Granger is standing by for the Hamlet, and Luke Glover, who hasn't yet played a first team match for Borough, but I can tell you he's one heck of a good keeper, and he will get his chance in due course. But he's on the bench for Borough. Oh, and that's intercepted by Whelpdale. Fury from Gavin Rose. Oh, and he's given away. I was going to say fury from Hamlet manager down here, Gavin Rose, which really was on a plate, but then Whelpdale couldn't find Ferry. Ming tees it up, back to goal. And then it's the turn that matters. If they can leave a man for dead there, Hamlet, then they're really going to be in business. Up, says Dickinson. It's a high Borough line, but they're happy with that. They think they can deal with it. That's the long ball. And it's long enough, and this time Rabbit Early's happy to let it go out for the goal kick. Well, we've had some matches here, including one, remember, against Slough Town, when Slough, the ball was in play. I went through the replay. This is how sad I am. I went through the recording afterwards, and the ball was in play for 21 minutes of the 45 in the second half, because Slough managed to make all the goal kicks last that long. No sign of that from the Borough, of course. We're absolute sporting types here at the Sports. I'm asked to give a big shout out, by the way, to Steve Domsala, who is a real great patron of the club and supporter of the club. He can't be here today. His friends, colleagues, mates are all here, and they're wishing him well and wishing he was here, and they tell me he's hoping to be out on remand soon. Oh, the things we get away with. And we're going to see a substitution. It's for the Borough, and it's an interesting one, and it reflects the injury, I think, that James Vaughan was carrying. But the interesting aspect is that Charlie Kendall, the man replacing him, is very much a striker. So Borough are going to have to do a little shift around of the personnel. We'll just see how that pans out, because Kendall is nothing but a striker, to be honest, and I'm not being derogatory to him there, but he's a great lad, but his game hasn't fully developed into suddenly becoming a right back. But here's Greg Lure, plays a ball in to that man Kendall. Wiggle and wriggle, closed down, can he win a corner even? Right down by the flag, he's won a throw. That's the consolation prize. Yeah, Charlie Kendall is actually an Eastbourne lad. Some of you will know, others of you might hardly even know the name. He's on loan from QPR, but he came through, he played for Eastbourne Youth when he was about 8, I think, played for a number of other youth clubs in the area, scored 99 goals, I think, one year for Ratton Rangers. Let's pick up the play again. It's in the area with Hammond wrestling for it, and Hamlet getting it away somehow. Yeah, he scored 99 goals in a season, and I'm sure his coach must have found a way of playing an extra game or something to get the 100. Anyway, he's a great asset. He's been with QPR through since I believe he was picked up at 16 initially by them, and thanks to our excellent relationship with Queen's Park Rangers, so a big shout out to them. If there's any Rangers fans listening, there's one listening to my right, and he's our videographer. Chris Ramsey there, in charge of I think the development of all their teams. Here are Hamlet. Let's go back to the action, never mind my rambling. Useful little move, is it? No, it's intercepted, and Borough can come away with a long ball for young Kendall to chase. And that, assuming that was deliberate, that is really naughty. There's a handshake goes out quite quickly. It's a yellow, surely, isn't it? Referees aren't expected to read the minds of defenders, but you've got a pretty good idea what was going on there. And that's an unfortunate return for Jesse Deborah. Oh, I beg his pardon, it's not Jesse Deborah, it's David who's gone in the book. Where was I? Oh, it's going on about Chris Ramsey, yeah. Great friends with Danny Blore, and he's helped us out, sent us one fine young man last year and 2 fine young men this year. Weltdale, flattish ball, keeper should take it. No, he won't. Seen out. Yeah. So they're on their initial first month, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if everyone agrees that the 2 lads, Innocent and Kendall, can stay a little bit longer, because it's benefiting everybody. They're getting good competitive football, tough stuff in the National South. No foul given there. Throw into the Reds. Ooh. And Dean Moore sort of aches his way back up to his feet, and I thought he might have a case there. What a thug Dean Cox is. He loves children and animals. Innocence. Going to throw. Take it steady, Sports. Still you lead by 1-0, you home Sports. And we're up just past the hour mark now. The touch lets him down. That's Charlie Claydon, who had a decent first half, to be fair, very busy, active one. He's just come in on loan, last minute loan signing from Charlton Athletic. And it's the same basis, isn't it? All these players, you know, who are with the pro clubs, with the senior clubs, they're just playing under 23s and academy games is all very well, but Dickinson gets a boot to that. But it's not the same as the real competitive edge that we have here. Oh, that's a really good ball in behind. And an early shot which he didn't get hold of there, Reece Alassani. If he had, he could really have troubled the scorers. Just had to get a shot on the turn with his right foot, which is slightly his weaker foot. And we were spared an equaliser. But it was a good run in behind, and it was a real dangerous moment. So Weltdale is down. I don't know if he just turned an ankle there. There's an instruction to a couple of Borough subs to come off the bench. Meanwhile, there is a substitution for Dulwich Hamlet, and that man is Tyrrick Hyde, coming on in place of Melando Martin. So that's an attacking move, basically. Another bit of oomph for the men from South London. And is it a second substitution? No, it's just a few instructions from Gavin Rose, the gaffer. Just having a chat with Ruben Samut. He's going to change the shape a bit. So this will be a blow if Whelpdale does come off. He's limping his way towards the touchline. Possibly give him a minute or two. Quickly, the Borough subs, the options. We've had Kendall on. We've mentioned Luke Glover, the keeper. Then with Joel Rollinson, Dan Blackmore, Charlie Lambert, Leon Graviter, and Manny Follerin. Now, Manny Follerin is a fullback. Dan Blackmore is a defender, all-purpose, and the others are basically attacking players. And I think it's Manny who's going to actually come in. That means that they can sort of regain a normal shape, the Borough, because at the moment they've still got James Ferry slotting in at fullback, which is not his natural place, and taking him out of midfield makes a bit of a difference too. So Manny is going to get his chance. Too long again, Hamlet. You haven't learnt yet. And Whelps is coming along the touchline in front of us now with the masked raider, Xavier. Next time please, says Danny Bloor. But the ball is still in play at the moment. Now it has gone out. So get your shirt on, Manny. Manny Follerin's previous appearance came as a substitute, but within about 1 minute and 30 seconds of the first of the cup ties up at Dorking Wanderers. And he slotted in there when we had a very, very early injury to Nick Arnold, who incidentally is struggling with ligaments, but hopes to be back in due course. But so Manny will slot in at his natural position, right back. James Ferry slots in at his natural position in midfield, so the Hammond-Ferry tandem there is restored, and the front four can sort of do what they like, run where they like, and I would think we might just see one more substitution with another attacking move, and there's some real fighting, working effort, and no, not a free kick one, thought it was going to be. Oh, given against Coxey, well. So we've got Rollinson who could come on, if Coxey just runs out of legs a little bit. We've got Graviter, who is a real star act with his attacking skills, and who we thought had scored the winner against Chelmsford last week. Borough playing it a little bit dangerously at the back. Oh, they get away with that one. Just about. Walker rescues it. Oh my goodness. Playing on, says Jack Packman. Go on you go. Hamo knocks it off to Cox, and I think the front players weren't quite expecting that. Charlie Kendall, a little bit to learn still about the way the Dean Cox mind works. Manny can play that safe or play it back, and he plays it safer than safe, and it's landed in the cage behind the north stand. The cage is not as frightening as it seems, it's just the name that we give to the all-weather training area that's also floodlit, and you can possibly see the floodlits rising like spires. Oh, the poetry of it all. Throw into the Hamlet, never mind the poetry, it's a real contest here, and it's going to go down to the wire. Interception, Coxey knocks it off. Ooh, gets away with it, plays it front surely. Yep, there you go, young Charlie. Didn't quite read it, perhaps the wind deceived. And Cox is really putting in a shift there. He's come back covering in defence. But the initiative just a little bit at the moment is with the Hamlet. Cox appeals for the throw, gets a throw. He's very slightly wearily picks himself up. And there's a little question, yeah, and I think we're going to see that third substitution. Well, that's a great shift from Dean Cox. He's given us an hour plus of his skill, his quick brain and his quick feet. Thanks for that, Dino. And let's see if Joel can have a real impetus in this final half hour or so. A little bit less than that. Just a little 20 minutes. Coxey takes a well-earned rest, sitting in the stand. And Joel Rollinson, who's Billy Whiz, I always call him. He's got fire-powered boots and real electricity and acceleration. Here's a long ball for Kendall to chase, and he will do, and he's got pretty quick boots himself. Only wins the throw, but well done, well chased. So that's the final substitution for the Borough, with Joel Rollinson coming in on the left side. He's quite happy to play on either. He's a right-footed player really, but he quite likes that left and checking in sort of role. Follow in with a throw. Gets it back. No, Charlie does a good turn. Wants a red shirt with him to lay off to. There's nobody. Turns around again. And an interception. And this is a decent red move if we're not careful. Streaks away from Innocence. And he's making Dickinson take some chances perhaps. Dickinson sheltering the ball and sheltering the man away, out wide. Oh, that's a good ball in though. This is promising from Dulwich. Here's the cross. Just got intercepted and Greg Lewis does another good job defensively. Long ball. Oh, and that's another naughty one and another yellow card. Well, it's a red card because it's the same player. It's Quagliola David who's committed almost identical fouls within 5 minutes or so of each other. He's asked for trouble and he's got himself into trouble. And Dulwich Hamlet might just have shot themselves in the foot. They're down to 10 men. But it's still 1-0. 10 men sometimes, well, always raise the game, let's face it, and produce miracles. Here's the flat ball from Hammond, which is too close to the keeper. No way Rollinson will get it. Partington is out. Just waits for his side to shape up. What are they going to do? They're surely going to keep the front players up front. So there's 3 across the front at the moment. And there is the ball to them. Oh, I wonder if you played for that. So he's going to have to give a yellow, is he? Oh dear me. Well, I don't think that one compares. Yes, I know, I'm not totally neutral, guys. And probably a lot of you listening aren't either. But I think that was a foul. I can't see that the malice was in it or the cynicism was in it, shall we say, from Steve James. But he's got himself a yellow card. So yeah, these questions now are posed for Hamlet. They've got to take risks, haven't they? They've got to push forward. They've got to play, you know, if it's a matter of playing one man short at the back in order to chase the goal, that's what you do.
Get the boys going! Switch on!
71 minutes. It's a tasty position and another back man goes forward. It's Jesse Deborah, in fact, and he's another big fellow. Here's the kick towards the back. It hasn't gone out. Deborah's got it. Stand up, Manny. Stand up. Nothing diving in. Was it still in play? It was still in play. Dickinson's kick was a bit too sudden, and it's still a white ball. It's flicked out wide on the left this time. Alasani. Nowhere to go. Good work, keeps the ball white. Back to goal. Excellent tackle by James Hammond. Feeds Walker. Hammond swings it out long. And here's Rollinson. He'll get there first. He hasn't got a lot of support. Is he going? He's gone backwards for Innocent. Makes himself available again. And there's Innocent going through. Re-wins it. Is that a word? And wins the corner. A question of a different sort for the Borough now. Do they push players up for the corner, get a goal, make it safe, or do they play a little bit safe themselves? Well, the big fellas are staying back, the big centre backs. And here's the final substitution for Dulwich Hamlet. It's Aaron Barnes coming on and Jordan Higgs coming off. So Barnes with the last 20 minutes, probably something like that, to change the game if he can. Here's the corner. No red head on it. It's gone high. Ferry heads it back in the danger area. No offside flag. Use your height, Charlie. Picked up just Eased wide by Charlie Kendall. Chopped in. Oh, it's a good ball. It's headed again high and not very far. Kendall can't quite reach. And it does come away now with Moore. Moore lays it off nicely. Finds Hyde. Then the front ball. Smacked back forward by Stephen James. Won a little bit too easily perhaps by the centre backs. Here's our Charlton loanee again. Nice little run. He really wants that left foot all the time. Interestingly, he's playing on the right. Laid off. And then just a sliding slide. Certainly wasn't a challenge. Alassani hopefully wondering whether that might bring the ref's decision, but there was nothing in it. I can guarantee you. Ravitsoli with a throw out wide. Lua has come back for it and plays it up to Kendall. Kendall's got to learn to play against more than one defender. Finds Ferry. Ferry goes wide again on the right. Here's Greg Lua. He could whistle his way past a player or two. Puts it into the 6-yard box. Played safe by Aaron Barnes. So, if Kai's going to take it, who's filling in, chaps? Come on. Well, the three wise men are down here. You probably can't see them on camera, but you can tell Danny a mile off because he's the one who ain't got no hair. You can tell Sergio because he's got the fancy haircut, and the only normal haircut there is Ben Austin's. There you go. Well, when you're a school teacher, you've got to be, you know, reasonably orthodox. And here's the ball into the box. Can anyone get the shot in? Back to goal, and it's scrambled away somehow. And now it's going to be played long, needless to say. It beats Manny, but it goes for the throw. I think it's a red one. Oh. And Jack Packman doesn't like what he said. I think it must be what he said, because I couldn't see any of Follerin's actions. Or did he knock the ball away? Right. Yeah, I think ref said you're wasting time, because I think he just flicked the ball away. Pure accident, ref. Yeah, we were talking about the times that Borough have got to the first round proper, and that famous time against Oxford United, memorable. We'll never forget it that day. Although they did lose the replay, they even played quite well in the replay. I think it was 3-0, but they did all right. And Yemi then got signed by Oxford United on the chairman's instructions. I think the Oxford United chairman. But here's some action. Never mind my reminiscing. And the ball is with the Whites. Remember, they are down to 10 men, so they've got to be economical. They've got to not waste anything. They've got to find each other. They've got to run that extra few 10-15 yards to make themselves available. There is a prize for them if they can do it and get themselves an equaliser from somewhere. Yeah, they've gone back, but they've still got the ball, you see. This is what they need. They have to work. Borough are okay with that at the moment, especially while the ball is that far away from their own goal. It's a cat and mouse, isn't it? It's a tactical, canny stuff. And above all for the Borough, it's about not making an error. One slip at the back and they're in, even if they are only 10 men. Play it safe, play it sensible, concentrate, and then you're in the next round, Borough. That one's somewhat given away. Ball up to the front man again. He's played well, has Moore up the front. Even, albeit with his back to goal rather a lot. Here's Kendall. Was it fouled? Oh, Lino gave that one. Free kick then, 10 yards inside the Dulwich Hamlet half, up to the corner flag. I don't know if that was intentional. I can't think that they're playing for the corner flag yet. But it's gained ground, a bit like rugby, you know, they sort of kick for touch and gain a bit of ground, don't they, sometimes? I have to do another shout out because I suspect that my beloved brother is watching this game, even though he's a devoted rugby fan. Keith. We'll convert you one day. Back it goes, all the way back. Franco hasn't had that much to do, but he's been very reliable. Was that a push in the back? Ref not interested. Up it goes, up that Borough right side, and out for the throw into an empty, echoing north stand. You heard it echo off the back of the metal shutter of the T-bar, for goodness sake. When there should have been a little cue at it. Was there the foul throw? I'm getting mistaken on these. In my day, there used to be foul throws if it wasn't from behind your head. But my day was a long time ago. We had toe caps on the boots then. New balls, please. Oh dear. Ref. Danny, come on, hurry up, mate. Not as if you're winning. Oh, a little bit of tempo. Come on, Sanchez, play the game, even if the opposition dugout weren't playing the game. An intelligent referee will be adding a time on anyway, and actually I've got time for Jack Packman. He's a nice guy as well, I can tell you. I've chatted to him before matches sometimes. They come over to the boardroom before the match and for a cup of tea, and we always butter them up in case they give us a doubtful decision later. That doesn't apply today, I'm happy to tell you, because of course there was no hospitality at all here at this empty ground. Get back to the match, Kev. It's 1-0 to the Borough and the time is ticking. We're headed for the last 10 minutes, about 11 minutes plus stoppage, and it's a final substitution. It's 15 for 11. So Gary Henry, who is another front man, I think I can tell you, he played up front against Chippenham last week in Dulwich's defeat. So they are piling the players forward, and credit to them for that. They're really going for it. They've nothing to lose. After all, you might as well lose 2-0 and 3-0, mightn't you? And the chance of an equaliser is always there at 0-1. And then, of course, the lottery of penalties, or the who keeps the nerve penalties. Charge down, goal kick. A little tiny bit of contretemps there between the Dulwich Hamlet players. That won't help them. I'm not quite sure what he wanted his strikers to do then. Still, a contretemps, by the way, is the French for bust up. Oh, we're so educated here. I'll be talking about Catenaccio defenders in a minute. Except they don't play them in England anymore. Hamlet on the run down that far side. All the way down that far side. Good cross, comfortably taken. Whoa, a little bit of life there. And Dulwich will not die quietly, you can bet that. It's always the way, isn't it? The nearer you get to the 90, the more frenzied it gets. And you sometimes think, well, blimey, if a losing team had really shown the energy earlier, they might have had more chance. As it is, it gets down to these final minutes, and the Borough can, I think, control this game. Yeah. Back to my script. I haven't got a script, I can tell you, but back to my reminiscencing. The other time that Borough got to the first round proper, I'm going to draw a veil over it, but it was a certain game at Braintree, and we lost by the odd goal in 7, except we didn't score an odd goal. Everything went wrong. But let's remember, please, the match before that, which was the 4Q at Aldershot, and what a fantastic performance that was by the Borough under Tommy Widrington. Goals from Jamie Taylor and Nat Pinney. Whoa, two legends there, and they beat Aldershot on their own turf and got themselves through. So that's the equivalent. So if we keep that one in mind, guys, because I know you're all willing us on if you're wearing your red and black replica shirts out there. If you can keep that in mind, then you will Borough to a win. If you're a Dulwich fan, I'm really sorry. I think you're a lovely club, but I don't want you to win. Oh, what a smashing ball that is! And out comes Franco. He's got to get it right. And over the back training pitch it goes. Whew. Well, you just wonder if Alassani might have done more there and really charged him down. The throw is taken quickly in towards the D. Stand up, Red, stand up. Here's a shot. Block, excellent block by Ferry. Here's the cross. It's high. It's gone too high. Ooh, Franco just about got that right. If you're watching from the angle I am and your camera angle is not dissimilar, then you'll have seen it was just about a foot beyond the top of the crossbar. Well, Danny's getting worked up now, so you always know it's nearly the end. We've had an hour and 23 minutes of this game. It's not been a classic, I won't lie, but it's been tense, it's been well and honestly fought, and there's been very little between. Oh, and that's a cheap free kick, I have to say. Not convinced it was, but hey ho. Ming up the line to Alassani, who's now come over to the near side. Oh, and Alassani would rather have liked a free kick there. And I think he might have had a case, but there you are, Dulwich. You see how neutral I really am. Innocent. Up the line. Still in. Oh, throw in. Is it throw in or I wondered if it was a handball for a minute. Oh, come on, Sanchez. Mate. There are grins all round, I can tell you. Need another header here, James? Oh no, it's a volley away. Headed back in by Jesse Deborah. A good little flick. A no-nonsense kick from Steve James. Rich Dickinson is up. His trusty left foot tries to keep the ball in play, and I think he doesn't quite. It just swings out and back in again. Throw in. Hamlet would have loved a free kick, but there's no. Well, you saw what was going on, but he got away with about 3 or 4 yards. At least he didn't get away with about 20. Back it goes. Jesse goes. Oh, I thought Jesse was going home with that. Oh my! And that's a free kick. And it's another yellow, is it? Well, Kendall took Jesse Deborah by surprise there. Let's be fair. I suppose he just about knew he was there. But it's a free kick, it certainly was. I think it's going to be words from Jack. Yeah, and that's not bad. Yeah, I tell you what, Jack Packman's not had a bad afternoon at all. And if he catches up with the highlights tomorrow, then well done, Mr. Packman, and thank you for this afternoon. I'm saying that a few minutes before the end, before you give the dodgy penalty against us. Oh, they're playing for the corner flag. I'm not sure about that, boys. Now this is daft. And some of it's coming from you, Sanchez, and a little bit was coming from Joel. Come on, boys, be sensible. The minutes tick away. 4 minutes left plus stoppage. Wow, and then of course it would be penalties if Hamlet could create something in these last 4 minutes. There's no extra time. Interception by Steve James. A really great game at the back. Out of play it goes. That will be chased down. Well, you might as well have a go, Charlie. You're a young, keen striker and you'll chase at anything. Through midfield it comes. Oh, that's nice stuff. Laid off. Now the killer ball comes. Not quite. Open it up here. No, he's going the same way. Interception from James. Lure, challenged late. And the ref did see that in the corner of his eye. Onyeka. 3 minute stoppage, I am hearing. That's a nice thing about an empty stadium. You get all the inside info. 3 minute stoppage. So the total, guys, is only something under Something under 6, about 5.5 to go, including that stoppage time. Huge long ball. Joel Rollinson is in first. And is that not a foul? Ooh. Really long ball forward. Well, I thought Joel did enough there to draw the foul. May I say a big thanks again as we come towards these closing stages to Oscar Peskett, our immaculate cameraman this afternoon. He's done a really great job, unsung hero, and to Graham on my left, who has done a great job too, and he'll be doing all the hard, unknown work of all the editing for the highlights package, etc. Will those highlights include a dramatic late equaliser? It's just a tiny bit of time. It's £9,365, which would be very welcome in a Borough kitty, which, like every non-league kitty, has been a little bit sparse in these months. Obviously, as you know, the what do you think?
Easy does it, Borough!
I thought. We'll give it to Mitch another week, but I thought unsung heroes. Yeah. And it's it's the foundation, isn't it? So yes, just to remind you, we will have a Danny Blore interview and verdict, and we'll get that up this evening on our YouTube and Facebook. So look out for that, and with the announcement of the man of the match as well. And then Graham will be packaging this one together so that you can pick up the 15 minutes or so particular highlights. But we're thrilled to. Oh, here's a chance in behind. Charlie wants to get a cross in, but he's shut down. He hasn't got that much support. Out it goes for the throw, but that'll do for the Borough. Oh, we're now told 5 minutes. Well, either I misheard, or so did a few people around me, or the ref suddenly changed his mind. 5 minutes, well, that's very generous. I can tell you we're into that 5 minutes now, so it's about not doing anything silly, about playing safe. Remember that Hamlet are playing with just 10 men. But no, it's been a good afternoon, and it looks like being a really rewarding afternoon for the sports in every sense. I'm just trying to run that clock down a little bit more. Oh, I'm not sure what that has achieved, except to give possession to the opposition. Oh, let's hope this won't be disastrous. It's gone really long, and Franco's got it. Oops, down you go.
You should be out there.
So what we're looking at, if they hold out, is 3 Borough victories in the FA Cup. That first really dramatic game, absolutely magnificent game up at Dorking Wanderers. Really wonderful game of football, it really was. 3-3 and then penalties. And then a scrappy one against Sheppey when they came good in the end. Greg Lewis transforming the match when Borough were a goal down. Look away, boys. Put back. Another good header, still not clear. Very high and mighty. Down to Greg Lewis. Up the line. Borough throw. Yeah, 3 wins, remember, in the FA Cup. And in the league, although it stands at 1-1-1, a win, a draw and a defeat. The defeat was to Dorking in the sort of revenge match. And, okay, they didn't play too well, but Dorking are a really good outfit. And apart from that, it was a sort of a winning draw against Chelmsford, if there's such a thing. And it was a convincing win at Hamlet. So very much on the credit side for the Borough. And you've got to say, you know, that long summer of building and preparing and all those Thursday nights when we had about 28 players here and Danny and the staff had to sort of cope with them and start to decide who was going to cut the mustard. And then a lot of friendlies and a late start to the season. It's come good so far. Will it come good this afternoon in these final couple of minutes? Or will there be real? I mean, this would be really dramatic now. We're looking at 2 minutes of stoppage. Charlie Walker, club captain, fights his way back, chases all the way. Hammond, who's had a decent game. Ferry, who's had a decent game. Back to Manny Fullerin, who's just filled in there competently for these last few minutes. Out it goes now. We'll be counting in seconds soon and not minutes. Decent tackle, red ball given. Huge applause from the couple of dozen people to my left, and they're all kosher, I can tell you. They are all club officials plus the substitutes. And as the season goes on, let's see what the wretched virus does. And if it relents enough, then who knows, perhaps we will have a lovely, lovely big packed stadium. Even if we socially distance you, which we could perfectly well do. We're into the last minute now. Oh, and I think that might be a yellow, taking one for the team, boys. And the throw in it is. We are in the final minute of the 5, if that's all that is played. This would be amazing if they score now. Headed down. Goes. Thumped away by Rollinson. The keeper is up. He'll smack it back into the mix. There it is. Heads go up. It's Mitch Dickinson. He's had a great game at centre-back alongside Steve James. It's like working a drill here. Forward and back, forward and back. And the header goes wide. And my unofficial watch says 12 seconds. I can probably go to milliseconds if you really want me to. Oh, we'll have another ball, please. Right. Stoppage time in stoppage time. It's not been a classic. It's been battle, it's been honest, it's been really close. Dulwich Hamlet have played their part, just been perhaps that little bit blunt, possibly that bit unambitious in the first half. Borough had definitely the better of the first half, were much more creative overall. Hamlet have come at them. Is that a final chance? Out it goes, and the referee says out goes Dulwich Hamlet with that final whistle. It's been a decent afternoon's football. It's been an honest, hard-fought FA Cup game. You'd expect nothing less from these two decent, honest sides and decent, honest football clubs. We respect Dulwich Hamlet massively, and we love all that they stand for. We love them as people and fans, but when it comes to the crunch, there has to be only one winner, and that winner this afternoon, thanks to that James Hammond penalty, is Eastbourne Borough Football Club, and they it is who progress to the first round proper of the Emirates FA Cup. If you are still listening, I can tell you that the man of the match, the Acorns Nursery man of the Owlets Nursery, I beg their pardon, the Owlets Nursery man of the match this afternoon, a really, really difficult choice, is Stephen James from centre-back. It could easily have been his partner Mitch Dickinson. It could easily have been that midfield pairing of Ferry and Hammond. It could easily have been the front runners who ran their socks off. I can't say it could easily have been Franco because he didn't have enough to do. But lads, you're all winners this afternoon in red and black, and thank you very much for that. Onward we go to the next round. Thank you so much for listening. If we're still on stream, and if you are still listening, thank you ever so much for sticking with us. I don't just mean watching this afternoon. Thank you for being with us, for reading the websites and finding out the news, and giving and digging in your pockets when we ask you to. It's massive and it's magnificent, and it's part of the community club that we are. We aren't letting you down. We're doing all we can for you. and I will see you next week on this channel when we have another home game, and we'll be looking forward to that. It's Welling United here next Saturday, and let's hope for another Borough win. Okay, I've got to go on air, so. It's the old geezer from Eastbourne.